Hi there, my name is Greg, and this little video I'm going to be talking about carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and showing a little experiment. Let me move over here so it doesn't show my belly in the shot. No, I thought this was going to work better. Let's be a little bit precarious. There we go. So yeah, in this little video I want to talk to you about carbon dioxide and very simple field experiment involving a strawberry. We hear all the talk about what high levels of carbon dioxide and how bad it is for the environment. And we have the opposite side where carbon dioxide, we need it to help plants grow and it's beneficial, it's a fertilizer. And I want to actually put a different perspective in, because I've come across so many experts who know about it and know about this, know about that, and they don't explain the simple principles of it. So let's talk about the strawberry pit. I can't say strawberry. The strawberry principle. So let's pop you here, that's okay, and talk about this. So this is a strawberry. It's a British strawberry, just your normal one. I don't know much beyond you're literally looking at strawberry in the video. I can tell from the surface it's not have higher concentrations of carbon dioxide much. There's a little bit of red, a little bit of whitening, paling around the top, which these are tasty, sorry, which gives me a clue it might actually be might have been used, might have been exposed to higher concentrations of carbon dioxide. But typically, I assume this is just being left in the field. It may have had a little bit little kicker of carbon dioxide to help it see a growth spurt at the beginning of its growth cycle, where the actual like the little I don't know what it's called. Oh, it's interesting. It's got no seeds. Oh, look, it's no seeds. I expect to see more prominent seeds. That's weird. You normally would see when it's a little bud, it might have had a little bit of extra carbon dioxide to start the initial process. But other than that, it's exposed to normal atmospheric carbon dioxide, in my opinion, based on literally looking at it at this moment in time. Now, back in the 1990s, I did experiments to work out why I was killing off a lot of plants and trees. I did in the back garden here, sort of over here to be specific. And I couldn't figure out for dear life what was going wrong, because I'd been told, I'd read books and been told by experts saying, oh, lots of carbon dioxide is really good for the environment. There's this global warming, you don't understand it. So I did a field test to understand it better, because I believed that global warming was real. I believed on the science it was real, and yet there was this little thing I couldn't quite work out, which was the concentrations of carbon dioxide. Because I'm hearing lots and lots of experts talking, this is bad, this is really bad, and then others turning around, damn it, others turning around and saying it's not that bad. And so yes, still the same strawberry. I'm just moving it because I want to move the camera. And I didn't understand it. So also noticed when I was growing plants, I followed the advice of using tends to put extra carbon dioxide. This helps the plants grow. It's a catalyst, helps them grow plentiful, and but no, it's not plentiful. Bountiful, nice and big and healthy plants and trees. And what I was finding was I was killing them off, and I couldn't understand what the hell was going on. I'm putting a large amounts of carbon dioxide, about 1600 parts per million of carbon dioxide, into like little grow tents, and I'm injecting in nutrients, and they're dying. What's going wrong? I don't understand. And eventually, through lots and lots of testing to spare you lots and lots of time hearing me talk about it, I found out between 680 and 700 parts per million of carbon dioxide, the plants stop basically absorbing nutrients. And this is a very good example, like a litmus test of excess carbon in the environment, how it actually interferes and damages the plant's ability to grow. So let's take the top off this, excuse me. over there. So yeah, initially that looks okay. So just go take a little bit more. What we're looking for is white. Inside the strawberry, it should be nice and red, depending on the concentration of carbon dioxide. If this has been put inside a grower's tent and subjected to the typical 1200 parts per million of carbon dioxide, we should expect to see quite white inside. So I'm just going to get a little bit messy. There we go. And there we go. Oh, so it's been exposed to sun. So we can see the little whiteness and it's quite pale inside. This shows me that it's been exposed to carbon dioxide, but not much. Let's see how it tastes. Excuse me. Okay, it's a bit bland, but it is an English strawberry. Has full taste, but it's a bit bland. You can tell. So this has been they've artificially accelerated the growth by using carbon dioxide. But you've got two different issues with this. You've got when it's actually just a poly tent and exposing it to high concentrations of carbon dioxide, which is 1200 parts per million, so above 680, 700 parts per million. Nutrients don't typically get absorbed into the actual plant. Now you can increase that threshold by using hydroponics. I think it is closer to 1200, but I can't remember specifically, and I'm not going to say this for definite. I know it's much higher than 700 parts per million, but I don't know specifically, and I can't remember specifically. But what it does, it changes basically the ability for the plant to actually absorb nutrients. And so what we can find is tomatoes, for example, some of them are actually grown next to like power stations as a carbon capture system. And the problem with that is you're talking about a very high concentration of carbon dioxide environments which are being absorbed by the plant, but it's causing, as we see here, a little whitening inside. The more white a strawberry gets, the less nutrition it has, the more watery it tastes, and the less full of flavour it has. And so that's one of the fundamental problems. And the strawberry is one of the best for actually seeing it, because visually you can see inside it's quite white in here. It's not as red as I'd like. You can see that. So yeah, it's paler than I'd like, but it's not bad. It's okay. But oh no, there are seeds. I can see them. They're just slightly recessed into a strawberry. Where's the camera? Ah, there's the camera. So you can see there are seeds in there. They're just slightly recessed. Excuse me. Yeah, so as I say, strawberries are the best indicator for excess carbon dioxide in the environment. Our problem is, whilst global warming is a serious problem, methane is the biggest problem we have with it, alongside unleaded fuel. Unleaded fuel has sulfur in the actual crude oil, which binds to the additive being used, which is cobalt. Cobalt's the only logical explanation for what it could be, because of the temperature thresholds where it still binds to the sulfur, and then beyond 1490, so over 1500 degrees Celsius, we start to see breakdowns of the sulfur binding with oxygen to create sulfur dioxide. So we can see a sulfur dioxide sky, and that's indicative it's going to be cobalt, because we're typically seeing the types of engines which produce that sulfur dioxide are about 1600 degrees Celsius, a good example was recently the flyby in Iraq of the Israeli aircraft flying by the building. We can see the smoke trail, which is a sulfur dioxide fume experience. They're not using afterburners, but the type of engine would bring the temperature up to 1600 degrees Celsius, if not a little bit higher. So it's going to be cobalt. So unleaded fuel and methane are the bigger problem. But the problem with carbon dioxide is when you hit that 680 to 700 parts per million threshold of carbon dioxide, it becomes nutritionally deficient, and that's a serious problem. Moving forward, we don't want to be having very high concentrations of carbon dioxide because we will starve to death. And sorry, but facts are facts. So if you want to try this yourself, go and get yourself an English strawberry, open it up and actually see how white it is inside. Typically, by the way, if you different types of strawberries you'll come across, typically they will be flavoursome and they'll be red inside. If they're white inside, then it's not got any nutrition. It'd be very watery, it won't have much structure to it, and is a good indication it's got I'm having like high concentrations of carbon dioxide in it. I hope this helps. I hope this is informative, because it's very easy to say carbon dioxide is great for fertilizer. It's a great tool, and it can go to high concentrations. But if you don't know the actual science behind the problem, you can say any amount of carbon dioxide is fine. But unfortunately for us and our survivability, we need to keep the amount of carbon dioxide well below the 680 to 700 parts per million. Now, I'm going to finish in about less than a minute. The concentration I would be ideally going for is between 280 parts per million at either 330 or 350 parts per million. The reason why this is higher than it previously was in the previous ice ages, so we want it to be high enough that it's going to keep some heat in it. We're not going to go into full-blown ice age conditions, but we also want to be most optimal for the plant to grow. So for 280 to 350 or 280 to 330, this is the optimal range where nutrition, the plants have a maximum amount of nutritional growth and grow really tall and strong, and also are beneficial for carbon dioxide in the environment. So like my little favourite trees, like that one. Is that one? Where are you? So yeah, we've got this one over here. Got this one over here, and that little beauty behind me, and others. So what we want ideally is to have as much nutrition balance with the carbon dioxide, and that's why basically reducing the excess carbon is important. But the real problem is methane. We can get rid of carbon pretty easily with plant trees and crops. It's not that hard. Thank you very much for watching. Take care now. Bye. Sorry I ran over a little bit longer than I wanted to, but that was a rather tasty strawberry. Could have been better. Less carbon dioxide in it would have been much better. Take care now. Bye.